I volunteered to become a member at the SES because I've been really lucky in life. I am a vet as a job and I wanted to do something to give back to the community and learn something totally different to what I do in a day-to-day life, and learn some new skills, meet some different people from different walks of life that have similar interests to me, and SES seemed to fit the bill.
So I started as a volunteer when I was 18, almost 19. A lot of friends from school were members, and I thought it was something good to do in my spare time, try and meet some new people and develop some new skills. And then about 6 years ago a position came up as a staff member, so I was given that opportunity to join the central region. I was also involved in a couple of activities such as Commonwealth Games, but you know, I'm passionate about SES. It's something that I've done for a long time now. I'm in my 18th year, so it gives me the opportunity to develop my skills and also be part of an organisation that's known nationwide, and a lot of changes we've had in the last 5 years, and it's good to be part of those and moving forward to assist our volunteers.
I decided to become a volunteer with the SES some 15 years ago after I'd had a Rotary scholarship to Sweden. And during that scholarship experience, I felt that the volunteer nature of that organisation really would give me an opportunity where maybe I could also do something for my own local community. So when I returned, I investigated the different options about what would possibly be a thing that I could do as a volunteer, and I stumbled across the SES and realised that the activities they do to support the local community, mainly during storm and flood events, was something I could become involved in. So I went to the local unit and signed up.
I became a staff member at SES by default. Actually, I was recommended by a friend and given a heads up basically that there was a temporary position coming up at SES for the central region in community education, and that being somewhat my field as well as a bit of a international relations field. I was really looking for some employment where I could consolidate a lot of my experiences from being abroad, from I guess exploring a range of different fields in community education, either being very grassroots on ground working with various communities, to doing interpreting, to working with school kids and teaching, etc. And this provided the perfect opportunity to do that. So I was very fortunate, and it just went from there.
I became an SES volunteer because growing up in regional Victoria when I was younger, I saw the fantastic work done by my local unit in Tallangatta. So a few years ago I had the opportunity where my work hours became a little bit more constant, that I knew I would have evenings and weekends free. So I decided to go and inquire with my local unit in Oakley.
I think there's been lots of rewarding experiences, especially growing up being part of the service. I've had lots of opportunities that I normally wouldn't have had. I definitely enjoy being part of a road rescue team and also having that qualification, which is something that doesn't happen overnight. But being able to be involved in lots of different experiences with lots of units, especially now being a staff member, I get the opportunity to meet lots of different people and learn lots of skills and help our volunteers in my position as a volunteer support officer.
The most rewarding aspect to being a member at the SES, there's multiple. Operationally is just going to a resident's house that is in trouble and being able to do our job. Whether it be a rooftop damage or a tree on their house, and seeing the relief on their faces at the end of the job and when we walk away. Other than that, as a community educator at the unit, as volunteer, we've really grown from pretty much nothing to a huge team here, and seeing the change in the call-outs from people and what they need from us. Just through teaching them how to be prepared and what to do in a storm and what to do after has been amazing.
The most rewarding aspects of my role at SES has been in definitely working with the volunteers. I think that they provide so much variety given their diversity of their backgrounds, what they do, and having limited knowledge with what SES was about prior to actually being employed with SES. It just would always be the highlight of my day, with an opportunity to go out to the units and actually just have those meetings and discussions with the topic at hand, but really having a great time and coming out on a high by actually understanding what they're doing, how we could work together in future community education projects, and also making new friends.
The most rewarding aspects of being a volunteer for me are twofold. I've very much enjoyed getting to know and work with the colleagues who are similar-minded to myself. They've come along to the SES to give up their time freely and to support the community. And secondly, the life skills that I've learned. Never knew how to use a chainsaw before. I didn't know how to tie half the knots that are in the book. So I've learned a lot of life skills as well as made some very good friends.
The most rewarding aspect of my role has been getting to meet people within my community that I normally wouldn't have the opportunity to meet. I've gotten to challenge myself physically and mentally whilst I've been doing my general rescue assessment. I've also been challenged by going up to deployments in Shepparton earlier this year when they got flooded. Mental and physical challenge again.
One of the most challenging roles has been, whilst I'm a staff member, I guess I don't get as much time to be a volunteer, because when we're busy as staff, so are the volunteers at the same time. So I'm trying to find that balance of staff and volunteering, along with having 4-year-old twins, and when Mother Nature calls, that's definitely when it's our busiest time, and trying to juggle that whole work-life balance is definitely a task.
The most challenging aspect to my role is actually as a community educator. I am reasonably a reserved person when it comes to public interaction, and I've had to learn very much how to face people that I don't know, groups of people, to teach them what we know and what we need to convey during storms, or how to prepare, be it at schools or scouts, at community meetings. Operationally, the most challenging is some of the deployments we've been on. Black Saturdays was one of the biggest one I've been on, and we were there the day after the fires, and to spend the day giving information to people that were stressed and devastated from what had happened. We had a large team of multiple different agencies helping out, and just to be able to give a little bit of relief or reassurance to them was really challenging, to do the right thing by them.
One of the most challenging, I think, is we're a small department in the community education field, and given that we have to juggle a lot of our time between our day-to-day core business, and that is to provide support to volunteers in a resource base, advisory base, or to learn from the volunteers on what community education activities they undertake, versus a sudden unexpected storm event, and therefore to go operational, is how we can really mainstream and provide good support to our volunteers and really prop up that community education department. So for sure, I think it's the fact that we're a small department, we're limited in staff, we're limited in resources, and I guess it gets disheartening sometimes when you can't always be there for the volunteers or respond to their needs all the time and really allow the community education department to flourish.
To me, the most challenging aspect of the SES is helping the community understand that it's a volunteer-based organisation, and that the help they're receiving from the SES members really is coming in a volunteer spirit. Sometimes the community have very high expectations, and they don't realise that the volunteers are really there giving up their own time and providing a support that they would not otherwise have access to. So it's really key to get the community to understand what it really means to be volunteering.
The most challenging aspect has been learning new skills. It's been both mentally and physically challenging. As you get older, it's a little bit harder to teach yourself new skills and those sorts of things. So doing my general rescue assessment, I've learnt some things that I would never ever use in any other part of my life.
Advice I'd give to people that wanted to be a staff member at SES, it would probably be the main thing to start as a volunteer, to have that understanding of why volunteers volunteer, and also the challenges and roles and responsibilities of being a volunteer with Vic SES. It gives them good grounding to move into being a staff member.
If someone asked me what I thought about becoming a volunteer for SES, I'd say there's something for everybody. whether you wanted to be operational or in the office or community education, if you want to be out in the field chopping up a tree or on a roof repairing some damage, that would be awesome for you. If for someone else it would be community education in schools or scout visits or community meetings or even festivals to let people know that we're out there, what they can do to help themselves, which is really important as preparation instead of the response phase of what we do. There's something for everyone. It's a great family feel, but yeah, if they wanted to become it, just do it.
I think to work for SES, whether you wanted to join as a volunteer member or even a staff member, I think that the organisation itself holds a lot of opportunity, and like myself, I found that the diversity of work that it can provide, from everything from a preparedness point of view, a response relief aspect, from a staff to volunteer point of view, really requires a true passion. It provides a lot of challenge, and if you can provide that challenge with certain skill base, I think that SES certainly is right for you, and we'd be privileged to have you.
So the advice I'd give to people who are considering to join the SES is just do it. You have nothing to lose, you have a lot to learn and a lot to gain, and really your community is going to show an appreciation to the effort that you put in. Sometimes it feels quite thankless, but you actually come away with so much more than you give.
Go for it. I couldn't, in terms of becoming a member with the SES, I couldn't recommend it more. You will make some fantastic friends. You get the opportunity to represent your community. You get the opportunity to represent your family, and it's really it's a proud moment that you get to, when people ask what your page is for and you explain what you're doing and why you're tired the next day at work because you've gotten up at 2 a.m. to help someone who really did need help. So yeah, if you're interested in doing it, absolutely go for it. Anyone can do it.